Hey, everybody, welcome to the Coach Tyler Vann Show, Round Football at its finest, brought to you weekly right here on River City Media, 7:30 on Tuesday. And we've got special guests tonight. Last week we had our other two seniors, and tonight we've got two more of our seniors of our massive four-people senior class. But Ryan, Brant, go ahead and introduce yourself, a little about yourself, what position you play, anything else you want to say. Hey, get a shout out to your mom. That makes you look good. Say something nice.
Hey, Mama. I'm Ryan Koger. I play outside linebacker, and I've been on the team for about 2 years, since my junior year.
My name's Brant Kittle. I play tight end and defensive end, and I've been playing since I was in 7th grade.
All right, guys. Coach, tell us a little bit about Brant and Ryan as football players.
They're both really good football players. They play hard. Kittle's been with us. Hang on, I can hear myself talk. I can fix this. Kittle's, he plays tight end, defensive end. He's a really good defensive player. He played actually more tight end last year as a junior than we thought he was going to. He plays a lot of tight end and the Leo switching in and out. And then Ryan Koger, like he said, he started playing last year. And from the time he started playing football, he wanted to get better. He'd always come in and ask coaches what he needs to get better. He's took a huge step forward and actually is going to play a lot of minutes this year. And I wasn't expecting that to happen, to be honest with you. I thought he worked hard all off season, and I thought he's going to have a chance. And we got out there and ball camp, and he balled out. And he's been a surprise this year. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do throughout the year. I'm really excited about that.
You know, Ron, you've been talked about on the show previously. We talked about people coming in. Coach just said, coming into camp, you were securing minutes. Do you feel like you had a really good camp and that helped you solidify your place on the team?
Yes, sir, I do. I think it was just like a chip on my shoulder from last year, wanting to play more. Which, I understood why I didn't last year. It was my first year back since, say, 8th grade. But I think that really helped me, gave me drive.
All right, Brant, having been on this team since you were in the 7th grade, tell me a little bit about what it was like when Coach Putman left and Coach Vann came in and what kind of culture Coach Vann made.
He brought in a real good culture, him and his coaching staff. It's definitely been more energetic at practice and everything. And since they've came in, we've got a lot of new nice stuff around the facilities. We've got new floor in the locker room stuff, new equipment for the weight room, stuff to help us take care of ourselves better.
That's awesome. And that's the kind of stuff you got to appreciate as a player. Mr. Cheney, let me open it up for you and let you get some questions in with these young men and Coach Vann.
So we have a Kittle on here. Are you any relation to the volleyball coach that Coach Kyle Finch said was the oldest coach at Savannah?
Yes, sir. That's my mom.
I'm not trying to stir the pot with Coach Finch or Coach Kittle. Boy, he was talking about how old she was. So I just wanted to see what the relation was. So I'm sure Coach Vann
just fired up. It's like comments coming through. I can't see them. They're coming so fast, Howie.
So I don't know a whole lot about X's and O's, so I usually ask some just normal crazy questions. So if y'all saw the show last week, you probably know what they are. So the first one I'm going to ask is, what is your pregame ritual? Do you have any superstitions that you got to do or anything like that?
I don't really have anything. That's just my go-to. But usually every week I go lay in the equipment room and usually just listen to some 90s rock and fall asleep till game time.
Ryan, you have anything?
I do the same thing as him. I come out with a rap first, but I get 90s rock going right before the game.
Y'all are my heroes.
I was waiting on you to comment on that, Randy.
Hey, that's prime era for me. I had the mullet. I had good hair like them back then. So go ahead.
Yeah, you answered my second question by, what type of music you listen to and all that, but you told me in that answer as well. So that's a good job paying attention from last week on the show and everything. So what's with the football season being here, starting off Friday night, other than hitting someone besides a fellow teammate, what are you looking most forward to for the game Friday night?
I'm just looking forward to playing with this team, see what we can do, try to accomplish more than what we did last year.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing how much work we put in actually show. We had our jamboree, but things like kickoff and kick return are dead. But I think now that we're in the regular season, we can really shine.
So Coach Vann told us last week that y'all had some country music playing at one of the practices. Well, I just wondering what was y'all's reaction to that with the music that y'all would rather listen to?
I'm fine with it, but he don't like when Devil Went Down to Georgia comes on.
Oh, it says we have the version that don't bleep it out.
Oh, okay. I was fixing to ask what's the reason behind not liking that, but I understand on that. So, how do y'all guys like the music playing at practice and everything?
I like it pretty well.
It's nice. It makes practice fly by a lot more,
It hurt my feelings the other day. Run Through the Jungle by CCR came on, and then they changed it.
I'm not over the music.
Whose playlist? You on Seals?
I think it's Coach Will.
I think it's Wilson's.
Yeah, Randy just stole the question from me. I was going to ask who's in charge of the playlist or who picks the music for the day.
That's what being a teammate's about, Howie. I don't know. Sorry about that. Don't y'all do that to each other.
Oh, that's fine. So who does pick the music out? Is it Coach Wilson or who is it?
It's Coach Wilson.
So we need to get Coach Wilson on here and figure out what's his rhyme or reason to some music that he's choosing every week.
We got 10 weeks. We'll get him.
Yeah. So, Randy, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you talked about the tight end in your offense, and I know you run so many different multiple sets and you're moving people around. Do you get how much – let me ask the question different. What's the percentage that you want to get your tight end into the pattern, and what's the percentage you're going to leave them in to do something else? Is it, 5 wide, you don't have a lot of protection up front?
Right. Are you asking like when we want to be 11 personnel when I want to tight end or when I
Yes.
want to attach?
When you're in 11.
Okay, so when I'm in 11 personnel, more than likely he's attached. I won't spread him out too much. And then depending on play action and what route we have tells him whether he's going to stay in the pass protection or whether he's going to get out and then throw out. But a lot of times it's really game plan on how many they like to bring when we have a tight end and stuff of that nature.
All right. Yeah, Coach, I know your offense requires some different positioning and moving around. So, Coach, let's talk about the comment I believe Ryan made about how excited he was to see the work the team has done. As a coach, that's got to make you excited to hear your players say that.
They put in a lot of work, and there's a reason for it. Like I tell them, you should work so hard, put in so much work that you don't let up in a game because you don't want to give up. And I think effort, because of all the effort you put in, you shouldn't want to lay down in the middle of the game no matter the score because you put in too much work too late. And they have put a lot of work in. 4 days a week throughout the summer. I know we come in early, but it's still 4 days a week. And have fourth quarters and then not counting the guys. There's some guys who don't play other sports, so they're in an off-season workout from November, December until August, fall camp. Like that's their off-season workout. That's a 3 or 4 cycles right there. That's a lot of work. I know Cobra was one of the guys that was in an off-season workout from December until August. That's a lot of work. I'm excited to see see them play and like it.
Howie, why don't you ask a couple of questions? I'm going to try to fix our echo real fast. We've got a little echo coming in. I may go off screen for a second. So, Howie, follow up on that.
Yeah, when Randy asked about the tight end getting out in the routes and all that, is some of that based on depending on who you're playing and how good their defensive line is, where you may have to keep extra tight end in to help to block?
Yeah, or how many they're bringing. It could be a 5 technique that gives us a lot of trouble. It could be a defensive line that's giving us a lot of trouble there. It could be that, a 3 tech. We don't have to help more on 3 tech, but most of the time it's very dependent on, how do I put it, like play action stuff. Whether we're in double tight end, I don't normally release. I don't say that. It's kind of game plan stuff, but it's a lot of it's game plan without giving away exactly what we want to do on Friday night. A lot of it's just dependent on who we're playing, how many they like to walk up, if they walk them up, how many they want to bring, and then it goes into personnel as well. How good are they up front? Are we going to have a lot up front? There's a few reasons, different reasons why we adjust that as well.
Right, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about X's and O's, but I do watch a ton of football. But watching the games, you do see that sometimes the defensive team has a stud defensive end, and they'll line up that tight end there to help that the guard and tackle out some. So I just wonder if you did that as well.
We do, and it could be a guy that's walked up on the edge that tackle struggling with. It could be an outside backer that walks up a lot. And it's hard to get an out call on for us to sit back and sit on that end for that outside backer that splits him. It may be somebody like that brings him wide, so I need to put another guy in there to help him out as well.
Is that kind of like a called in the huddle, or is that something that you just rely on your tight end to decide on what he needs to do?
Most of the time, he knows the plays he's out on and the plays he's in on, just based on the route scheme and the protection call. He knows it. So it's called in, like Jax relays that message to him on the protection call, and that pretty much lets him know what he's at.
Right. Yeah, I want to ask y'all a quick question. I asked the guys last week, and neither one of them answered. So you two had to be the answer to the question as far as who's the most vocal of the seniors. And the two last week wouldn't answer, so I'm assuming it's you two.
I'd say it's Brant more than me.
I try to be vocal all the time, but I try to make sure I have my stuff together before I choose somebody else out.
I'll say something if it needs to be said, but I don't know. It's just not my nature.
Right. Oh, I don't know if you saw it a while ago or not, but John Seals said that he's going to fix y'all a mixtape to listen to practice one day. So who knows what it's going to be.
Hey, God help y'all. I'll be praying for that day at practice. Y'all make it through. Hey guys, I want to get back to North Jackson a little bit. We showed some highlights last week about North Jackson. First of all, you made the point you didn't kick off, you didn't return. North Jackson's a quality opponent. They scored early on you. Ryan, what was that like for them to come down the field and score on that first drive? Is that the time that everybody kind of went, hey, we got to get our head in the game?
I think it was a wake-up call. I don't know if it was overconfidence or just not being confident enough in our defense, but I think after that first drive, we really set it in gear. And over time, as the game went on, I think we got better about it.
Good. Brant, what was the huddle like? Was everybody just anticipating hitting somebody, or did you, after that first drive, was everybody kind of just calming down still a little bit?
I think most of the team was still kind of calming down, just first game jitters, especially for a few of the freshmen we had on the field.
Excellent. North Jackson's a quality opponent to play in the Jamboree. Brant, what do you feel like playing North Jackson in the Jamboree helped you prepare for this week at Sachs and further through your schedule, which y'all play a schedule that's tough. So that's a good opponent to fill out. Do you get a as a player, do you feel better when you look across the line? You know, hey, this is a good football team. I got to play tough.
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir.
All right.
I feel like they help me, just get my reads and stuff quicker up front, getting off blocks and everything with them being bigger up front. That's what we're going to see all year. So that really helped me.
Ryan, after not starting as a junior and then you draw the start, a little bit of jitterbugs as you come out?
For a little bit, but I think once I got into the groove of it, I was pretty comfortable.
What do you think this week with sacks is your biggest challenge in preparing for the game? Do you just wanted everything to be normal, get through practice? I always thought a really calm game week was a good game week.
You said to help us prepare?
Yes.
I think the biggest thing to help me prepare is just knowing my assignments, knowing what I need to do, and sticking to that. You can't get trigger happy going off the ball and then run straight to the quarterback, especially their quarterback. You have to play your role, and everything will fall into place.
How about you, Brent? How's your week been, and are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. It's been a kind of a lot to take in this week. They got a pretty quick quarterback, a little different than what we've seen in the past, but Coach has done a really good job of getting us prepared and showing us our assignment. So I'm ready for Friday.
Coach Vann, question about that. And then you'll face it during the year. In 10 games, you'll see 10 different quarterbacks.
Yep.
Do you have a plan to kind of simulate different looks for your defense in practice?
We do. We have a freshman this year, Landon Watkins. He's a fast kid, really quick, especially side to side. He's one of the quickest guys we have. He simulates quarterback this week a lot because he's quick, he's fast. Both, it really gives us a good look. So we're running their offense, and we're scout teams over there running their plays. He's the quarterback. We're just playing a guy who's going to sit back here and throw it a little bit more than Finn would be that guy. But we're able to. We have enough guys that we switch and try to match what their quarterbacks want to show us. Watt's done a good job this week.
Coach, you've told us several times on here that you choose not to play week 0. You get your jamboree in. You have this week, and then you go 10 weeks. What is the advantage to you doing that? And what is the disadvantage that might occur?
Say the advantage is we get to see what we need to get better at. We got a week off to get it right, and then we're going in to be able to game plan against Sags, and we got some stuff fixed. I feel like we did fix a good bit last week. It also stinks as a coach and a player both. Really, as a player, after having a game going into a week where you don't have a game. But I still thought the guys handled it well. I thought they gave effort. I can hear myself. I'm sorry. Thought they gave effort. And then I think it gives you an advantage going into this week because I feel like we're fixed a lot. I think it's going to show on Friday night. And then you look on the other side of it where you go 1 through 10, whereas you got week 6 off. You may have an injury. You may have a guy that's been out. That's going to be out 3 weeks. That may be one of the weeks he's out. 4 weeks you don't have a game. Or it may be something where you're in a spell where you need a week off. You need to fix a lot. Your guys are just worn out. But I don't think we're going to deal with that side of it. I feel like our guys are in good shape, and we're excited about our schedule. We don't care who's going to line up. We don't care the name on the schedule. We know for a fact that they see our name as well. So we're excited about our schedule.
All right. They're standing up, Coach. You just keep talking. I got a little excited right then, guys. That got me excited. Howie Chaney, you've got something special going on for this game. We got to make sure everyone's aware of that.
Yes. In case these guys don't know, 98.3 Wild Country game of the week is going to be Sylvania versus Sacs. So we'll be covering it. And back to your week, being a week off and everything, going to Ryan and Brent, how does it feel playing the game and having a week off to prepare for another game? How big of a difference was it compared to normal?
Personally, I like it a lot better. Like Coach said, it gives us a chance to fix what we got to fix before we go into the season. And then once we get into the season, I like it not having that week off because you got an opponent on your schedule every week.
I agree. I enjoyed it. I think we really got to work on the physicality of our team. Going back to the North Jackson game, there were things we needed to work on that. And I think having that week off before the regular season started really helped us.
So going back and watching game film.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Going back and watching game film after that game against North Jackson Jamboree, how much did you learn and realize, oh gosh, I thought I did good, but I messed up, or vice versa? How much did y'all learn from that game?
I learned a pretty good bit especially after watching film. I knew it was a game and I was going to mess up and everything, but after watching film, it really opened my eyes to things I could work on this week in practice going into the season.
I think looking back at it, watching film of what I did, I think I can be more confident in my choices now on the field. If you're going to mess up, at least mess up full speed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Coach Vann's got to be – he's not smiling, but he's got to be happy with that answer right there from both of y'all, realizing that y'all learned something from the game. And we haven't said the word tackle, but nobody's been smiling afterwards like they did last week. So apparently you two did pretty well as far as tackling during the Jamboree.
Hey, I did go to the huddle site and look at Good's tackling. So you at least made me go look at it after Jackson. So I know what I know now. I know when I look at the film at sacks what I expect to see for tackling.
That's right.
Coach, how much did you put those guys in pads the last 2 weeks, and how much did you kind of dial it back just a bit?
Last week we went every day. Pads. We went 4 days. We had on the 3-day weekend. It was on Friday. We just lifted Friday morning, and it was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then came back in on Monday. So we kind of treated it somewhat like a game week last week. Monday through Wednesday was pretty much our kind of normal practice. And, Thursday we did not a scrimmage, but close as we could get to a scrimmage at this point. And, they were all on Friday. So we come into this week. This has been a normal game week so far, so we're excited.
Guys, let's talk a little bit about sacks. You played them last year. Good football program. What did you learn about sacks last year, Brent, that you may be able to bring into this year's game?
Last year, they had a pretty fast quarterback last year too. I think it's the same guy, but I'm not sure. But I learned last year that I tend to flop field sometimes, and after last year and everything, I realized that I can't do that this year.
All right, Ryan. What did you learn from last year's game to this year's game?
Last year, I think we're a better conditioned team, and that's going to be a big advantage. If we're comparing to last year, it's the same way. Yeah. I think it's going to be the biggest decider.
So I got a kind of a crazy question, and I'm sure you both have to do it. How much do you enjoy special teams?
I enjoy it. I mean, it's pretty much free reign to hit someone. I mean, I'm not saying, blindside someone, but it
be physical for sure.
It can be one of the most physical aspects of it.
Yes. Brett, same question.
Kind of going off what he said, it's pretty fun, especially, when you get a chance to take off flying down the field full speed and hit somebody.
Coach, we talked in the offseason about special teams. Do you feel like you're at a place this year, week 1 with special teams, you feel better than you did last year, or you learned something last year that you've been able to apply to this year?
I like our personnel as far as how we've got it lined up better this year. I think we're going to be there was none of the same. I mean, I like how we moved some speed guys and put them in different positions. 1 through 10 on the kickoff, and really got them in situations that I think we'll be more successful with. Special teams is the third phase of the game, and if it's considered a phase of the game, then it can sure win you a game or lose you a game. You can't rely on special teams to win it for you, but it'll lose it for you real quick. So we work it, especially now that we're in the season. We try to work just one or two a day during fall camp, but during the season we try to hit every one of them every single day, which means you get limited reps because we got to hurry up and get through a period. But them reps have to be good reps, and I think the kids have done a better job of being, full speed through practice, even through them, knowing we only have a few reps. Let's get them reps right so that they can carry over to Friday night. And I think they realized last year that special teams is a big deal, and we put our defense in bad situations last year. So we got to do a better job. It's hard for a high school football team, any high school football team, to drive the ball 80 yards in possession without something bad happening, unless they're getting a big play or something. I think our defense does a really good job of forcing teams to drive the football. So if we make them snap it 10 or 12 times, I think we're going to stop or something bad's going to happen. But if we allow them to get the ball at their 50 and 45, they don't take 12 plays to score from there. So I think we're going to be a better special teams unit this year.
That's a good answer, Coach. Thank you very much for that. That does old special team guys' heart good. All right, guys. I got some questions outside of football I'm going to throw at you just a little bit. And don't have to think about it. If you ain't got an answer, just tell me I ain't got an answer. But we've already talked about it a little bit. What kind of music do you listen to? What's in your car stereo? What you go to?
Mine's usually some 90s, 2000s country, maybe a little bit of rap every now and then, and some 90s rock too.
I got a set 700 song country playlist I always put on. And then a lot of classic rock, 90s rock, some rap.
Tyler Childers. There you go.
Tyler Childers.
Hey, I'm with you on the Tyler Childers thing. I got to go with you on that one.
Sir, I don't mean to interrupt, but my phone's about to die. So I'm going to send the link to Brant, if that's okay.
Y'all change it out there, and we'll come back to you fast. All right, you got it. Coach, while they're gone, let's talk a little bit about football.
Yep.
I was at a meeting with Philip Former, and he talked about managing a schedule. He talked about sometimes when he sat down with a schedule at the collegiate level, he tried to manage it in like fours. Get your season started, understand where you're at as a football team, get into your conference play, understand your goals, keep your goals alive, and then you play for that last part of the seasons when your goals are defined. So what do you as a high school coach, I know we play them one at a week, but do you ever look at it and like, hey, we got this stretch coming up that's a bear? So how do you look at that?
Well, you look at our schedule this year, you kind of put it in that same terms, especially when we meet as a staff. We're scheduled first half of the year. We play some teams that are picked to be towards the top of our region, and then the second half of the year, don't get any easier because I think any team in our region can surprise you towards the top of that region. So you really can't look at projections or anything in our region because I think it's going to be a war between everybody. Somebody's going to knock a team off that you didn't think that would happen on a Friday night. But we do a lot, especially myself, as far as an offense is concerned. When I start looking at the offensive side, we go on 3 weeks at a time. So you got week 1 through 3, and then you kind of do a self-scout report on yourself. So I'll run reports 1 through 3 games, and then I'll scout myself. Like if I'm coaching against myself and I'm a defense coordinator, I'm going to try to figure out percentages on myself, and then the next 4 through 6, I'll run a report 4 through 6, and then also 4 through 6, and then do the same thing through 9, and then after that, it's for a game. But I try to break tendencies a lot, not to tell every defense coordinator if they do watch this what I do, but we're gonna break a tendency, and if you get a tendency on us, I try my best to break it. So you better not. I mean, coach to stop it though. If you won't, I won't try to break a tendency, and that's why I run self-reports. But as far as looking at the schedule, like you was talking about, I think you in high school you got to do that the same way. You got to find out where the toughest part of your schedule is, and then but if it's like us this year, it's every game's a pretty big game. It's a big game this week. Week 5's a non-region game. It's Pisgah. They're supposed to be a really good football team this year. Well, that's a big game for us because we like playing big-time opponents, right? Ryan, Brant, we like playing big-time opponents. So if Pisgah's, going to win the region, like I'm hearing, we want the opportunity to play them. We want the opportunity to play 5. Projected probably to win a state championship, I guess, in 2A. So it doesn't matter if we're in the region or out of region. We have a big game this year, and I think that's something. I don't think our kids look down to that. I think we're excited about every Friday night. A big-time Friday night game. There's nothing like Friday night. So if you have the opportunity to play a big game every Friday night, why not enjoy it and try to win every one?
And then John Seals did correct me. I was going to bring it up. Starting week 11, Coach, it just becomes win and survive. Week 11 through 15 becomes just a battle of wills to who moves on almost.
Trying to make sure you solidify yourself to get to week 11. You get your spot, and then after that, it's 1 week at a time. But that's how you want to treat it right now too. We're focused all on sacks. We're not looking ahead to Piedmont. We want to start out 1-0, and then we want to get 2-0, and then so forth. We're trying to win a region championship. You never know what this Sats game right here, because I think they're going to win a lot of football games this year. You never know what this Sats win could do in a tiebreaker in the future. So it's very important. We're going to try to win them all. There's no doubt. But there's something may happen. We may have a bad game that happens. We don't plan on it. But this game right here could set us apart and get us some win in the non-region too. So it's a huge game for us.
That's a great answer, Coach. Howie, I'll come to you. I found our echo, and I think I got it fixed now. Let me unecho. Hey, Ryan and Brent, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to hit you with some questions. Coach gave a great answer, but I wanted to get an answer from you because I don't know if you could hear yet the question he asked. You want to play big-time opponents, and he asked that to you, and I think that's true. Brent, when you play someone that's a defending state champion or someone that made a deep run in the playoffs, or like a Pisgah that's picked to win the area, it's a little more incentive to get up for those weeks, is it not?
Yes, sir, it is. We really enjoy playing big time with opponents around here. Not only does it get us fired up and everything for the game, beating somebody that was a really good team last year, but, it also gets you further on down the roads in the playoffs and stuff.
Ron?
I think it's more rewarding. You beat a big-time team, it's a lot better than, beating someone out of the boonies that has it's just 11 people playing both sides. So I enjoy it.
That may be the answer of the year right there. I mean, I'm telling you, that's going to get cut up and put in the opening, Coach. I love that answer. Allie, Janie, which way you going to go, Coach Vann or the young man for questions?
Man, I'm still reliving that answer right there. I love that answer.
I know it. It's awesome.
That's a great right there. But let me ask these guys one question. Here you are listening to the rock and rap and all this before the games, but yet you said country was what set your car. So what's up with that, guys?
I'm sorry, sir. You cut out after that.
Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
We're getting some echo. It's on the network side. He said, you said you listen to rock to get ready for the games, but when you get in your car, it's country. Why does it change from rock to country when you get in the car?
I just come down. You get hyped up on rock and very hyper music, but like after a game, going to eat or going home or whatever, you just got to put on something mellow just to bring yourself back down.
That's awesome. That may be answer number 2 that goes on the opening. All right, you're on a roll, son. Hey, Coach, he may take my job next year, and I may be out. I'm just going to tell you. Brent, same question.
I just, like he said, rock, before games and everything, it's kind of upbeat. It really gets me going and, focused on the game, locked in. And then on the ride home, just something a little more calming, like country.
That's awesome. All right, one more question outside of football, and then we're going to go all football for the rest of the way in. You just beat Sachs Friday night. You feel good. The prettiest girl in the stands waved at you. You're feeling your fire. Where are you going to go eat? What you want to eat afterward? Start with you, Brent.
Huddle house with the team.
All right. What you go to at Huddle House?
The MVP breakfast.
Man, that's strong right there. I'm going to give you some points for that one. That might be the third cutaway of the year. All right, you're up. You're going to Waffle House, I guess, or Huddle House, or wherever you're going.
I prefer Waffle House. I get the Texas bacon pat. I get the same thing, Texas bacon patty melt plate, but Huddle House has more room. I go with the team, and I get the MVP breakfast.
All right, Coach. When I do the game on River City Media, I'm going to the Huddle House with them, and I'm going to get an MVP after the game. So y'all just save a fat old man a spot, and I'll be down there here in a couple of weeks to call a game for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach. I'm gonna put them on mute so I don't echo real fast, and I got some stuff to ask you about game week, Coach. We'll start wrapping up. Howie, you have any questions for Coach? I haven't gave you a chance with Coach.
Yeah, I got a quick question. As far as Sachs coming up this week, did they play a jamboree this past week where you could do any scouting with them?
They actually played Ohatchee week 0. They ended up winning, I think, 41-15. Played a pretty good football game, I'd say. We went and watched it live. I got film, of course, but they played well. They moved the ball well on offense, had a lot of yards on the ground. They threw it a little bit as well, and Ohatchee had opportunities, kind of just fell away a little bit. But I thought it was a good football game. It's kind of better than the 41-15 score showed. I think it's a well played ball game on both sides. I think 17 for Sachs really set it apart now.
Well, my next question is, how big of a difference is Sachs' team from last year to this year?
That's a tough question. They lost their quarterback number 7 last year. Who's a really good football player. They replaced him with 17, who's also a really good football player and probably faster. He's a quick kid. He plays hard. He's a good football player. I enjoy watching him play. He plays fast at quarterback. He gets out in space, kicks in gear, goes. He don't throw it as much. He can throw. The film we got in spring game, he threw the ball well. So it ain't that he can't throw. The other night, they just didn't really have to throw it. They run the ball really well, with 17 and with 1 in the backfield. 1 was there last year, and I think up front, they're just as, they're about the same as it was last year. Not a lot of different. I think they're younger. They lost some seniors up front, but you're younger up front, but I think their talent levels around the same. I'm excited for our football team to get the opportunity to play. They're a good football team, and I hope we find a way. And I think we show up and play the way we're supposed to play. We'll be okay. We just got to be ready to play.
Okay, Randy, I'll hand it off to you.
Well, I just want to make a point, Ryan, if you can hear me. You're building a fan club out there. First, I believe you might know Deb there. Said, good answer, Ryan. And then John Seals is already trying to replace you with me. Of course, John Seals is John Seals. We'll look past that. I'll be over there to talk to you a second. Coach, I got one question for you, and then we'll start wrapping this up. How satisfying as a staff is it now to be ready to play football? You've went through spring, you went through summer. Where's the staff mentality at this week as far as preparing?
It's almost like we're playing again. For me, that's why I love coaching. You work so hard, and these coaches put in a lot of time. And I can speak for them. They're in here a lot. They work a lot on Sundays. We talk on Saturdays about football. It's a 7-day-a-week job.
Yeah.
That you're trying to prepare your kids, give them the opportunity the best opportunity, put them in the best situations to be successful on Friday night. And I think our staff does a really good job of that. And you can't do a good job of that watching film for 15 minutes a day. You can't do a good job of that by not doing your job every day. So I really think our staff does a good job of that. And just like with players, as coaches, when you put in the work and you put in the time, you should want to win anyways, but you should want to win that much more because you put in a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of effort into these kids that I'm excited about watching them play. So as a staff, it's almost like you're playing. For me, it's almost like I'm going to be able to. I get jitters on Friday night pregame just like the kids do. I get just as excited as they do to go out there, and I'm excited about Friday night. So
Coach, we're excited for you. How are you going to have to update me? I'll be at another game calling it, but you'll have to update me quite often to keep me up to date. Coach, I want to thank you, too, for letting me have the film, Coach's film, and letting me be able to review that. It helps so much in preparing for this show. I appreciate everyone's effort so far in this. And, Coach, I just looked at the schedule offline. Maybe we'll get together. If we could get some video on the 14th, we were going to come down there. Maybe we can get some video in the live feed. We could have a hard camera or something so we could feed the game live on YouTube or something. But we'll talk about that. I don't know if y'all have an AV club or something. Maybe we can get something done with that, but we'll find out. But, Coach, I'm super excited for you, and congratulations making it here. Now, I'm going to go tell Ryan why he can't have my job because he done took it, I think. Hey, Ron, you realize you got a fan club growing out here, don't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So you heard Coach's answer, and I tell you, I got all the respect in the world for your coach. He's a dear friend and a colleague that would I take my time to want to be here with Coach Vann. But he invested you as players. What does having staff like him and Coach Wilson and everyone, how important is that to your success? And he's standing right in front of you now, so you better give it.
You're asking how important it is to have it?
Yeah. I guess my question is how important does that make you feel as a player to know your staff is so invested in you as a person?
I think it helps a lot. It puts a lot of confidence in the players. If you mess up on something, they'll sit and tell you why you messed up. And I think they don't play favorites. They really try to help each individual player achieve what they can. I think it helps a lot.
Yeah, good coach in the world. Brent, same question to you. And I like you better, Brent. You're not taking my job, man.
Yeah, it's really important. It lets us know they're there for us and they want to see, us do the best things we can and come together as a team and win on Friday nights.
Young man, you have a special thing in front of you. Enjoy your season, and I'm sure you'll be back with us. And thank you for being here, and thank you for being so much entertainment and willing to put yourself out there a little bit. We appreciate you. Stay with us. We're going to ask Coach a couple of questions, and we'll be done tonight. Y'all can get the waffle.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, anytime you'll be back, I'm sure. Coach, have you got captains for this week, or how do we work that now? Who's going to walk out and call the toss for you? You know yet?
There's two captains that are all voted on by the football team. And this year it was 9 and 21, so it's Jackson Smith and Leo Kirby. And there's always a third one that I don't tell them until right before the game. So,
all right.
So that's TBD.
All right, to be determined. I like that. All right, Coach. Last question for you. Coming Friday night, you're going to play Sachs. What's your Friday at school like? Y'all have a pep rally? Do you try to just make it as normal as you can for the kids?
This Friday, I don't know. I normally don't know until Friday. Try to stay out of all that, and they tell me, "Hey, we need your football players here at so and so." So that's when I get them. So sorry, nap. that's about how that works. I know Friday morning, they'll normally email me like tomorrow or Thursday, but I haven't heard anything yet on that. But if it's not, it's just a normal day. We'll go to lunchroom, eat right after school, and then we'll come in here and they'll lay around and rest until it's time to start around and get ready to go pregame.
And Tuesday, if I do my job right, we'll have some film to upload and be able to talk about a couple of plays on here, and we'll be able to
Hopefully good ones.
Yeah, we'll be able to have some fun, and everybody will be here at the same time on Tuesday next week. And Coach, we're going to try to open up some questions. I have a number where folks can call and leave a question during the week or call live on the air. But I will warn you, this is a rated G family entertainment, and also we're not going to ask Coach why he didn't run the 27 split like he did in 1985. That's the one rules if you call in. Howie Chaney, finish us up for the night, and we'll get out of here.
Coach, I got a question going back to the coin toss real quick. Do you let the player decide heads or tails, or how is that determined with you and your guys?
Last year, it was always tails. I let Sawyer call it. I'm pretty sure y'all always we decided on tails. Once we win one, we stick with it. We'll call it until it runs out of luck. But it's normally tails. And then whoever talks, depending on who I trust the most out of the three, to not say the wrong thing, like defer the ball twice or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be bad, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Howie.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I've always wondered about that, how that was determined and all that. So, and I'm sure every coach does it a little bit different. But, Coach, we appreciate your time this afternoon. I'm going to ask Brant and Ryan one question that I'm sure a lot of the ladies are wondering. With those long locks that you got and all that, what type of hair care do y'all have to do and all that stuff? With the long locks that they got, the hair that they have and everything, do y'all have any special treatment? I mean, me and Randy, you can tell me and Randy, we ain't got much going on, so we don't know nothing about that.
I did not ask this question. I want y'all to remember that. It was not me.
So anything special that y'all do for that?
Not really. I mean, I just use shampoo and conditioner every now and then. I let it air dry.
Same with him. I air dry mine, shampoo and condition it, and that's the extent of it.
Really, John still asked me to ask that question because he was wanting to know what he needed to do with his.
A transplant.
Hey, John washes his and hair dries it too in the bottom of the shower. So, Coach Clark, I am not asking Coach Vann what he does for his hair. I'm not doing that. And John Seals agrees with that. All right. You're not getting me in. I ain't falling for that. Coach Vann, you my boy. I ain't all right.
Hair looks about like we tapped.
Coach, I started to send you a text to tell you had to improve the tackling outside against North Jackson already, so I kept the comments to myself. For Ryan and Brent, for Howie Chaney, for Coach Tyler Vann, this is the Round Football Show weekly at 6:30 Alabama time. Join us next week. We'll have film from Sachs, and I'm sure maybe we'll get Coach Clark in next week or one of the coaches in. It matters. Hey, if you score 60, Coach, you'll be by yourself. But if the defense pitches a shutout, then we might have to bring somebody else in.
Hey.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week.